everyone. Today's class is all about posture, and it's so easy to develop this rounded posture, in our lifestyle, whether it's, even reading or doing your sewing or at your desk, we get this rounded shape. So this class will help you reverse that and help develop a strong posture, because what we really need to do is develop the muscles at your upper back and just help you be able to, because it's not as easy as just remembering. Sometimes we need to develop the strength in our body to be able to hold our frame up and the back of the neck nice and long. It can make all the difference to how you feel and your confidence when you feel like you can just stand up really tall and confidently. So these moves will help with that. We're going to start hands and knees, because I always like to warm up the back a little bit first. And knees apart a little bit, hands under your shoulders, and we just start by arching and rounding the back. So when you're in that rounded shape, let your head go, and then go into an arch and look forward. So I always think smile on your face and smile across the front of your chest, and that seems to somehow change your posture. And then round, so really pulling the tummy in and then looking forward, finding that smile across your chest, opening and round. Nice big arch and round. And then when you go into an arch this time, why don't you just stay there? So you're looking forward and you've got your sitting bones wide and your tailbone out, and just hinge back and then hinge forward while you're staying in that arched shape. So just forward and back here. So I'm just shifting my weight back. I feel it in my hips and legs, and then I feel that effort in my shoulders. That's it. And then we'll just come back, find that evenness and round your body. So now you really let the head go. So I'm looking down towards my belly button, and I'm just going to stay there as I hinge back and forward. That's it. So it doesn't have to be huge, you're just feeling where the weight is, you're letting your head go. You feel your shoulder blades really broad, and you're shifting your weight. And then back to being even and like a neutral line. Then we're just going to take one leg back, tuck the toes under, and then take the other leg back, toes under, and then pop both knees down. Then from here, and then find yourself back into your neutral line. From here, we're going to have a lie down onto your tummy. So just scoot back a little bit, lay your body down, and then we'll start by putting one hand down and then put the other hand on top of your hand, and you can put your forehead down on top of your hands. Separate the feet a little bit, and don't have your legs too close together, and give your hips a little swish side to side, and then make them still. Push your hip bones down, and then all you're going to do is lift up your eyes and lift up your chest. So you've lifted up into a little extension here. I feel like the spine is arching and it's dripping forward in my body towards the front of my chest. And then I'm just going to roll back down, try and think of length, and then put your forehead back down on your hands. And again, hip bones are heavy, or it can feel like your pubic bone is pressing down. And then you lift up your eyes, lift up your chest. Let your shoulder blades drop down so you can feel that feeling of your spine dripping or sinking forward to the front of your body. And then you roll everything down. So it's not a huge movement, and it shouldn't hurt your lower back. So I always think hip bones or pubic bone down, belly button in, and then I lift up my eyes, lift up my chest, and I'm thinking of letting my elbows be quite heavy, but my fingers and my hands quite light, and then roll back down. And again, hip bones first, tummy in, and then lifting up. You do squeeze your bum a little bit, but not too much. And come on down. That's it. And again, just lifting up, 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 up. Good, hold it there, and then you're going to reach your fingertips to point forward, and bring them back, and then you lay down. Do that again. Hip bones, tummy first, lift it up, and then just pivot so your fingertips are reaching forward. And that might even be a place where you can anchor your elbows a little bit and just sink forward, let the shoulder blades drop down, and then just bring the arms back, and then you go down. And again, hip bones, pubic bone, tummy in, lifting up, 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 roll the shoulders back and down away from the ears, point the fingertips forward, and I'm just going to allow myself to stay there for a moment while I breathe nice and smoothly. And then bring the arms back, and then you go back. Good. And then you can keep your head down on your hands, and you're going to tuck the toes under of the left foot. Then the left knee lifts up, and it's almost like the legs hovering there. Now push your hip bones down into the floor so that you can point the toes of the left foot and the legs just hovering there in space. Then tuck the toes under, pop the knee down, and then slide the toes away. Do the same on the right foot. So the toes tuck under first, then the knee lifts up. So the back of the leg's getting a really good stretch, the front of the hip flexor. Hold it there, push your hip bones down. So you can point the toes, legs balancing, tuck the toes under, put the knee down, slide the toes away. Left foot, toes under, knee up, hip bones down, point the toe, toes under, knee down, toes away. Right foot, toes, knee lifts up, hip bones down, tummy in. Point, toes under, knee down, toes away. Both together. Toes under, knees up. Now, really draw your tummy in, push your hip bones down, and hover both toes away. Very good. Toes under, knees down, toes away. One more like this. Toes, knees. Now, engage your tummy. Point, and we hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything down. Good job. Hands out in front. So what we do now is we're going to keep that feeling of the hip bones pressing down as we float opposite arm and leg. So they don't go high, but they do think of reaching, and then you just pop them back and down. And then the other side. So little lift and back, and lift and back. Keep your shoulders back into their socket, your arm into the shoulder socket. That's it. Okay, good. I usually breathe in when I lift up because it feels like the air fills the front of my chest and it kind of floats me a little bit. So I do go up a little and back. This is so good for your back muscles. You keep pushing your hip bones down into the floor. And you know, if your lower back's sore, maybe you just do the arms. Keep your legs down. But if you think of pressing your tailbone down to the mat, you'll keep that length in the lower spine, and that's going to feel a lot better. Okay, we don't want it to compress and get too sore or anything. Good. And then you just bring the arms around, put them beside your body, push through the floor and sit back into rest position here. So you're just sitting back and giving your back a rounded shape. Good. And then come forward and find yourself back onto your tummy again. This time you're going to put your hands just a little bit in front of your shoulders and as wide as your shoulders. And you're going to lift up your eyes, lift up your chest. Make sure your tailbone's aiming down, and then you lift up and you push into your hands. You can straighten your arms as much as you feel like you can, and you know, if you're new to this, you may not go to all the way straight, and that's really fine. And then you just roll your body back down, okay? So we're just going to look up, lift up, and while you're there, your hands are still light. You know, you're not pushing in. You have your upper back working, and we keep that working even though we push into the hands now and look out. So I always think of looking out onto the horizon and then rolling back and down. Feels so nice. Lift up, fingertips are light, and when you know your upper back is definitely working there, then you can push into the floor. Now just check on your shoulders that they haven't come up to your ears. easily done. And I always give cues because it's what I remind myself. So I just say out loud what I think in my own head about myself. And lifting up you come, hold it here. Nice big stretch. And then rolling down. Good. Bring your hands closer to your rib cage and push back again into rest position. So that's just like this, where you can give your back a nice rounded feeling. Fold in on yourself and let your forehead drop down onto the floor. Nice deep breath in and out. And again, big breath in. Feel the air into your belly and then sighing out. And then very carefully, you just roll your body up, up, up till you end up sitting up. Roll the shoulders. And we will leave it there. You did well. Good job.